I shared a video where I was talking about communication and AI. You can click on the first link to watch that video. I want to give you an example of AI generated information that you need to verify for accuracy before you can communicate it. In the video on communication and AI, an example of an AI generated chart was shown to the class. And the class was requested to make an interpretation of the visual that was given. And this was the visual of a pie chart showing a workload of different engineering sections. One member of our class interpreted the chart based on the size of the segments or the slices in the pie chart, and not the percentages of the workload distribution that were shown on the pie chart. And he was right to do so. But as you can see from the visual that is on your screen, the segments and percentages are not talking to each other. For example, safety engineering accounts for 10% of the workload, but the visual has a bigger segment than all the slices. So this AI output needs to be verified for accuracy before this information is communicated to avoid causing confusion and unnecessary misinterpretation. So how do you construct a pie chart, or how do you correct an AI generated image which is not accurate in its description of the information presented there? I'm going to take you through a roundabout way of constructing pie charts, the longer version of this, so that we can get down to the basics of how you can correct AI generated visuals or charts or graphs. Remember that you can also do this in Microsoft Word or Excel in a much more faster way. So here is the longer version of how you can construct a pie chart. A pie chart is useful to show what proportion of a whole each part represents. Firstly, convert data to percentages. So for example, if you have source data showing income streams for a family, assuming this family owns a shop, they have a car wash, and the breadwinner also teaches. So you have three income streams for this family. The shop brings in 300 kwacha, the car wash brings in 250 kwacha, and teaching brings in 840 kwacha. So calculate the total amount of income. So you use this data to calculate the percentage of income from each source. You take each amount and divide by the total income. So for example, if we take the income generated from the shop, which is 300 kwacha, we are going to divide this by the total amount by adding 300, 250, and 840. So that total amount comes to 1,390. So we'll divide 300 kwacha over 1,390. It gives us about 21.5. So if we round it off, it gives us 22. You do the same for the income from the car wash, which is 250. Divide that by 1390. And it will give you about 17.9%, which we can round off to 18. You do the same for teaching, 840 kwacha divided by 1,390. It will give you about 60.4. We can just round it off to 60 for convenience purposes. When you add up all the percentages, they should give you a total of 100. The next step is to calculate the angle for each pie segment. Now remember that a pie is a complete circle which has 360 degrees. The angle for each segment is the percentage of that segment multiplied by 360 degrees, which is the total number of degrees for a circle. So the shop will equal 22, which is the percentage we got, times 360 degrees over 100, and that will give us 79.2. A car wash, 18% times 360 degrees over 100, that will give us 64.8. teaching 60% times 360 degrees over 100, that will give us 216 degrees. Now you can move on to draw the pie chart itself, and obviously you need a compass and a protractor if you are doing this manually, but you can also do it in MS Word or Excel easily. Once you're done with this, you can add the labels by providing the title and other information such as the key, percentages, and so on. So here is the revised version of the pie chart, which we misinterpreted based on the information that AI gave us. The correct version is shown on your screen. This is why we are emphasizing that it is okay to use AI, but verify the output that it gives you so that it is accurate and you can present it without any problems or any liability.